Princess Minha, wearing her hijab, noticed a small kitten stranded in the middle of a bustling road. With faith and courage, she gently rescued it, showing kindness and compassion. Her deeds reminded everyone of the Prophet's teachings: be merciful to all living things. A true embodiment of Islamic virtues.
A poor but honest farmer, Karim, found a lost camel in the desert. Though he could have kept it, he remembered Islam teaches honesty. He waited and searched for the owner. An elderly merchant finally arrived, distressed over his lost camel. Karim happily returned it without asking for a reward. The grateful merchant offered him gold, but Karim only accepted a small amount, trusting that Allah's reward was greater. Moral of story: honesty brings blessings.
A butterfly named Noura often mocked a humble bee, Sammy, saying, "I am admired for my beauty, while you spend your days working so hard." Sammy smiled and replied, "I believe on hard work. My honey is a gift from Allah." As time passed and the flowers withered, Noura struggled to find food. Her once bright wings became dull and weak. Meanwhile, Sammy and his hive thrived on the honey they had stored. Noura finally realized that beauty is fleeting, but good deeds and effort bring true success. A young boy named Amir discovers a lost baby camel. Amir decides to help the baby camel find its mother. As they travel, Amir and the baby camel form a bond. One evening, they spot a group of camels among the camels. A majestic mother camel recognizes her baby. She rushes toward child with love and relief. Amy's heart full of joy, knowing he has reunited a family. Raja, a proud peacock, loved showing off his beautiful feathers. One day, he mocked a small sparrow, Chicky, for being plain. When heavy rain poured, Raja's feathers became too heavy to fly. While Chicky quickly found shelter in a tree hole, seeing Raja struggling, Chicky invited him in. Grateful, Raja realized that beauty is not everything, but wisdom and kindness matter more.
Once upon a time, in a whimsical kingdom filled with lush gardens and sparkling lakes, there was a beautiful castle where a young princess named Arya lived. Princess Arya was only 3 years old but had a heart full of wonder and dreams as colorful as the rainbows that often danced in the sky after a gentle rain. Her little brother, Hamza, was always at her side, a curious little boy with an adventurous spirit. One sunny afternoon, after a refreshing rain shower had sprinkled the castle grounds, a spectacular rainbow appeared, stretching vibrantly across the sky. Its colors were so bright and vivid that even the flowers in the castle's garden seemed a bit envious. As Arya and Hamza sat by the window, their eyes widened in amazement. "Look, Hamza, the rainbow is calling us," exclaimed Arya, her eyes sparkling with excitement. She adjusted her tiny crown over her hijab, and Hamza, with his trusty little aviator hat, nodded eagerly. With a sprinkle of imagination and a dash of magic from their kingdom's enchanted garden, the siblings found themselves soaring upwards, floating gently towards the extraordinary arc of colors. As they approached the rainbow, they were greeted by Raindrop, the playful cloud keeper who ensured that each rainbow was painted with the brightest hues. "Welcome, Prince Hamza and Princess Arya," chimed Raindrop, accompanied by the melodious tunes of the wind. "Let me show you the wonders hidden within these colors," and with a wave of his silvery hands, the colors of the rainbow started to sing their tales. First, they landed on red, where the pair met Ruby the fox, who showed them through fields of strawberries and roses that hummed a sweet melody. "Red is the color of love and bravery," Ruby explained, gifting them a single red rose each. Next they visited Orange, where they found Amber the tiger playing in the garden of oranges and sunsets. "Orange is the color of warmth and kindness," Amber purred, giving them a juicy orange as a snack. Yellow was next, where Sunny the canary flew high in the sunlit skies, Singing cheerful tunes, yellow is happiness and energy. Sunny chirped as she gave Arya a crown of yellow daisies. Green was filled with the whispers of the forest. They met Verdi the turtle, who slowly but surely guided them through lush fields of emerald grass and towering trees. Green is the color of growth and harmony, said Verdi, handing them a jade leaf that glistened with dew. Blue was a splash of cool ocean waves where the dolphins danced. Azure, the dolphin, greeted them with joyful flips and splashes. Blue is the color of calm and wisdom, Azure explained, giving them a sparkling blue shell. Indigo and Violet welcomed them with a starry night, where the fireflies winked and owls hooted softly in the quiet. Lilac the unicorn gave them indigo and violet ribbons to bow their hair and hats. Indigo and violet are the colors of mystery and imagination, she whispered kindly. Each color left them with gifts and lessons, making their hearts glow with inspiration and joy. Eventually, the siblings floated gently back down to their castle balcony, each holding their treasures from the rainbow. As the rainbow faded into the sky, Princess Arya and Prince Hamza knew they had experienced something truly magical. From that day on, whenever the rainbow would arch across their sky, they'd look up with a knowing smile, their hearts dancing with memories of adventure and the vibrant world above. Remember, Hamza, said Arya with a twinkle in her eye, the rainbow is always waiting to tell us more stories. And so, they continued to explore the colorful tales that every raindrop and sunshine brought to their world. In a bustling forest lived a unique white crow named Noor. Unlike her fellow black crows, she stood out not only in color but also in wisdom. The other crows often teased Noor, calling her strange and peculiar. Nevertheless, Noor remained patient and kind, knowing that true strength lies in character, not appearances. One day, a huge storm approached, and the black crows, in their arrogance, ignored the signs of danger. Noor remembered the stories her grandmother had told her, about how storms could tear branches and nests to pieces. She urged her fellow crows to seek shelter. Noor, you are just trying to scare us with your white-feathered nonsense, they cawed dismissively. Ignored, Noor took refuge in the hollow of an old tree. As the storm raged on, the crows realized their mistake. The winds howled fiercely, and they struggled to hold onto their nests. Desperate, they flew to Noor's tree and pleaded for help. Noor's heart was filled with compassion. She welcomed them into her safe haven, saying, "True friendship and wisdom know no color. Let's always look out for each other." The crows learned a valuable lesson that day about humility, unity, and recognizing goodness, regardless of appearances. From then on, they admired the wise white crow, acknowledging that her different color was a blessing to them all. Once upon a time, in the sparkling blue waters just off the coast of a quaint little village, there lived a clever fish named Finn. Finn was not like any other fish. He had scales that shimmered like a rainbow under the sun and a tiny little fin that danced on the water surface like a waving flag. Though he was small, Finn was quick-witted and had a heart full of gold. In the same village, there was an old fisherman named Mr. Lawrence, who lived in a small, weather-beaten cottage near the shore. Mr. Lawrence was a kind man, with a bushy white beard and twinkling eyes, but he was quite poor. His nets were tattered, and his boat was held together by patches and prayers. Despite his hardships, Mr. Lawrence had a dream of catching the most beautiful fish in the sea, a fish like Finn. One sunlit morning, as the golden rays painted the sea with a warm glow, Mr. Lawrence set out on his rickety boat. He cast his nets with weary arms, praying for a good catch. Meanwhile, beneath the waves, Finn swam happily with his underwater friends, playing hide and seek among the coral reefs. As the day wore on, Finn heard a ripple in the water nearby and saw Mr. Lawrence's net being lowered. He remembered listening to the stories of Mr. Lawrence's kindness from the seagulls, who often watched him from up above. Curious and wishing to help, Finn devised a plan. Finn swam towards the net, flipping and twirling just out of reach to catch Mr. Lawrence's eye. The old man was enchanted by this lively fish with shimmering scales, and for a moment his heart soared with the thought of a great capture. Little did he know, Finn had his own intentions. Finn, with a mischievous smile, swam around and around, weaving in and out of the net cleverly. Mr. Lawrence watched the fish's playful antics, entranced. Just when it seemed he might catch Finn, the fish darted away, leading a parade of other fish who jumped straight into the net while following Finn's lead. By the end of the day, Mr. Lawrence hauled his net back onto the boat. He was astonished to find it full of fish, the most he had ever caught in years. As he celebrated his unexpected fortune, he noticed Finn swimming alongside the boat, gleaming in the orange sunset. With a grateful heart, Mr. Lawrence waved a thank you to his shimmering friend. Finn wagged his tiny fin in reply before disappearing with a twirl into the deep blue sea. His cleverness had allowed him to remain free and at the same time, helped a kind fisherman find a little bit of happiness. From that day forward, whenever Mr. Lawrence sailed out to sea, he would always cast his nets with a hopeful heart, looking for the friendly glimmer of Finn's scales in the water, and Finn, ever the clever fish, would always be there, watching over the old fisherman, ensuring his nets were filled with fish and his spirit was filled with joy.
Once upon a time, in the bustling town of Harmony Hills, there lived a poor, old lady named Grandma Tilda. Despite her modest means, Grandma Tilda was rich in kindness, always sharing her stories with the young and her warmth with the wandering cats. One sunny afternoon, while Grandma Tilda shuffled along the cobblestone path to the tiny market, she accidentally dropped her glasses. Without them, the world was a muddled haze. She asked around, but no one noticed her plea. Just when hope seemed dim, Princess Minha, the town's celebrated singer, passed by. Her melodious hum, her beautiful hijab, and shimmering crown caught everyone's attention. Noticing Grandma Tilda's distress, Princess Minha stopped her song to help. With her keen eyes, she found the glasses nestled in a crack. Moral: it's not the crown or fame that defines royalty, but the kindness and compassion one shows to others.
On a magical floating island in a sky, where dreams bloom and stars twinkle, lived two adorable siblings named Minha and Hamza. Minha, a delightful 3-year-old hijabi princess, always wore her golden crown with pride, while Hamza, a lively 2-year-old prince, loved to follow her around in his sparkly princely gear. Together, they shared countless adventures full of giggles and wonder, and their favorite ones always began with them exploring the floating wonders above the clouds. One morning, as the sun kissed the horizon with a pastel glow, Minha and Hamza spotted shimmering Arabic letters dancing in the sky. The curious siblings looked at each other with wide eyes and giggles, knowing it was the start of a magical quest. Today's adventure was to learn the first 10 names of Allah, the most beautiful names. They set off towards the first name. As they walked across the fluffy clouds, golden scrolls floated by. First, they reached a glorious golden palace that represented Al-Malik, the king. As they stood in awe, friendly palace guards made of sparkles and smiles explained how Al-Malik is the king who provides and watches over everyone. Minha and Hamza grinned with appreciation as the guards gave them sparkly crowns. Next, they ran towards a sparkling blue waterfall that sang a joyous melody representing Al-Qudus, the pure. They leaped over colorful stepping stones to reach the bottom of the waterfall, where a wise, bubbly fish shared stories about purity and harmony with the world. It was as if every droplet whispered Al-Qudus. Then, they arrived at a peaceful garden filled with the most vibrant flowers and gentle breezes that tickled their noses. This was for As-Salam, the peaceful. Minha and Hamza lay in the grass, watching butterflies dance, as a gentle dove cooed softly about peace and tranquility. The garden breathed life into As-Salam. As they delved deeper into the island, sweet chirps and adorable scenes illustrated each name. The sight of a baby bird being cared for by its mother brought Ar-Rahman, the merciful, to life. Kind acts from animals demonstrated Arahim, the compassionate, and so their understanding grew. At the end of their journey, Minha's eyes sparkled with excitement, and Hamza's hands clapped in joy. A magical memory challenge floated in the sky, and they invited all the young friends watching to join in. Let's remember what each name means. Minha chimed with a giggle, while Hamza spun around happily. Together with their young audience, they matched names to their meanings, creating laughter and learning in equal measure. With each correct answer, fireworks of colors burst in the sky, celebrating their achievements. As the sun set, painting the sky with sleepy orange hues, Min and Hamza waved goodbye.
In the magical land of Alifbaville, where letters come alive, Aleph, the first letter of the Arabic alphabet, was feeling adventurous. One bright morning, he decided to explore the vibrant streets of Alifbaville. As he began his journey, he bumped into Ba, a bubbly letter with a big bag of colorful dots. Together, they twisted and turned through the bustling market, where Ta, the letter with 3 distinct dots, was showing off his juggling skills with his twinkling stars. The rainbow-colored stalls were packed with friends like Jeem, dancing joyfully with his dot bouncing above his head. Each corner of Alifbaville was a wonder, with letters like Ha! And Ka exuding warmth and laughter. Aleph and Ba even visited the towering mountains where Sa and Shin climbed, giggling along the way. After a day filled with laughter, Aleph and his friends, filled with joyous memories, returned home, knowing they'd embark on another adventure soon. One bright morning, Noura and Sam found themselves in a vibrant, colorful forest. The sun was shining, the birds were chirping, and our furry friends were ready to learn something new. Noura, with her big floppy ears and sparkling eyes, announced, "Today, we're going to learn how to do wudu, step by step. Are you ready, Sam?" Sam, with his bushy tail and enthusiastic grin, jumped with excitement. "Yes, Noura. Let's get started. First, we need to make an intention in our hearts," said Noura. Together, they closed their eyes, and each made a quiet intention to perform wudu. Noura then hopped towards a magical waterfall that shimmered like a rainbow. "Look, Sam, water. Just what we need." Sam scurried toward the waterfall, his eyes wide with wonder. "Now, let's begin by washing our hands," Noura instructed. Using the clean sparkling water, they carefully washed their cute little paws up to their wrists, 3 times each. "Wow, it feels nice and refreshing," giggled Sam. Next, Noura showed Sam how to rinse the mouth. The duo scooped up water and swirled it around in their mouth, spitting it out with playful splashes. "And now, we sniff water into our nose," said Noura, demonstrating by gently inhaling the water. Sam watched and tried it himself, sneezing with a little laugh. "That tickles." The next step was washing the face. Noura delicately washed her fluffy cheeks, and Sam followed suit, enjoying the soothing sensation. "Now, we wash our arms up to the elbows," Noura said, rolling up her sleeves with determination. The friends washed their arms, making sure the water reached every spot. Noura moved on to a new part. "Let's wipe our heads." Using their paws, they wiped the water over their heads, feeling refreshed and focused. "Time for ears," cheered Sam. They gently washed behind their long ears and short ones alike, leaving them clean and happy. "Lastly, we finish with our feet," Noura reminded. She showed Sam how to wash carefully between each toe, completing their wudu adventure. With a sense of accomplishment, Noura and Sam sat back, sparkling clean and very proud. Sam clapped his hands. "Hooray! We did it." Noura nodded. "Yes, Sam, we did. Now we're ready to pray together." And so, in their magical forest, under the golden sun, the friends had learned and performed wudu, feeling the joy it brought to their hearts. They knew they could now teach others this important and beautiful practice. As they waved Goodbye. They promise to return for more adventures, exploring new lessons with fun and laughter together. Join Noura and Sam next time for another fun-filled journey in Uwudu Wonderland.
Once upon a time, in a bustling little village filled with cheerful people and colorful marketplaces, there lived a tiny gray kitten named Mimi. Mimi was not like other kittens. She was a stray and wandered the streets with her fluffy tail swishing behind her. Despite her adorable appearance, food was often hard for her to find. One sunny morning, Mimi woke up with her stomach rumbling louder than a drum. Her small nose sniffed the air in hope of catching the scent of something delicious. She wandered around, peeking into yards and behind stalls, but there was nothing for her to nibble on. Her little paws were growing tired, and her eyes began to fill with tears. Then, Mimi remembered something she once heard from an elder cat. If you ever need something, make DUA. And so, in her own kitten way, Mimi sat down, closed her sparkling eyes, and lifted one fluffy paw. In her heart of hearts, she made a DUA, praying for something to eat. Just as she finished her silent prayer, a gentle breeze rustled through the trees. Mimi opened her eyes to see a boy named Samir playing in his garden nearby. He was a kind-hearted little boy who loved all creatures, big and small. Samir had been playing with his toy car when he spotted Mimi under the shade of a large green tree, looking rather hungry and forlorn. Feeling a warm tug at his heart, young Samir ran inside to the kitchen. "Mama," he called, "can I have some bread for the kitten outside?" His kind mother, always up for teaching Samir about kindness and generosity, gladly handed him a small bun. With a skip in his step, Samir sprinted back to Mimi. He gently tossed the bread towards her. Mimi's eyes widened in delight as she nibbled the fresh bread, savoring every bite. She looked up at Samir with gratitude, her heart leaping with joy. In that moment, Mimi realized that her DUA was answered, and her little heart purred with happiness. Watching Mimi delight in her meal, Samir was filled with a sense of wonder. He remembered what his grandmother often said, "Allah is our Razak, the provider, and he cares for all his creations." Samir giggled, realizing that even the small, stray kitten could make DUA and be heard. After her meal, Mimi pranced around Samir, brushing against his leg with affection. From that day on, Mimi had a new friend in the village who would share his snacks with her. Samir had a newfound understanding of how Allah's love and provision reaches every corner of the earth. And so, under the warm village sun, a little boy learned about kindness and faith, and a tiny kitten discovered the power of DUA and a warm, full heart.
Minha and Hamza, a young princess and prince, embark on a magical journey through a floating kingdom to discover the first 10 names of Allah. They find themselves in a garden filled with colorful butterflies and glowing flowers. A golden scroll appears, floating in the air. Minha excitedly points it out to Hamza, who urges her to open it. The scroll unrolls, revealing glowing golden Arabic calligraphy with the words 99 names of Allah. Minha reads aloud, explaining that each name tells something amazing about Allah. Hamza wonders if they can learn them all. The scroll shimmers, revealing the first 10 names, with Allah appearing in golden light above them. A glowing white dove flies across the sky, symbolizing peace and creation. Minha explains that Allah is the creator, the one and only. Hamza acknowledges that Allah made everything, including them. Minha explains, Ar-Rahman means the most merciful, providing everything needed. Hamza compares it to how their mother cares for them. Ar-Rahim means the most compassionate, forgiving and helping them. Minha explains Al-Malik means the king, but Allah is the king of the universe. Hamza initially thinks of a king in a castle. Al-Qudus means the most pure, perfect, and free from mistakes. Minha and Hamza greet each other with Assalamu alaikum. Minha explains As-Salam means the source of peace, giving peace to hearts. Hamza realizes saying Assalamu alaikum spreads peace. Minha explains Al-Mu'min means the guardian of faith, always protecting them. Hamza notes that, even in darkness, Allah watches over them. Al-Muhaymin means the guardian, caring for them always. Minha explains Al-Aziz means the Almighty, stronger than anything. Hamza is amazed, comparing Allah's strength to superheroes. Minha laughs, affirming Allah is stronger than all superheroes. Minha challenges Hamza to remember the 10 names. They begin with Allah, and the names appear as they repeat them. Minha and Hamza congratulate everyone for learning, promising more fun next time. Confetti falls as the screen fades to black, signaling the end of the episode and readiness for the next adventure.
In the heart of a valley where rainbows danced over rivers and mountains whispered ancient secrets, stood the Castle of Light. This castle wasn't like any other, it sparkled as if the stars themselves had been stitched into its golden walls. Inside, lived a 3-year-old hijab princess named Minha, who wore a crown that shimmered with pearls and gems. Her little brother, Hamza, just 2 years old, was a bundle of joy with twinkling eyes and dimples that could melt anyone's heart. The siblings were not alone, their days were filled with laughter and adventures with their animal friends. There was Leo, the brave lion, Zara, a graceful deer, Fluffy, a mischievous rabbit, Kiki, a chatty parrot, and Sammy, a gentle elephant. One sunny morning, the friends gathered by the castle's sparkling fountain. Wise old Kiki flapped her wings and announced, "We are going to learn something very important today, the Pela Kalima." Minha clapped her hands in excitement. Leo, the lion, explained, "It's a beautiful declaration of our faith. It says, La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah, there is no God but Allah, and Muhammad, peace be upon him, is his messenger." Hamza giggled, eager to learn. Zara suggested, "Let's go on a quest. We'll find the words of the Kalima hidden around the castle and put them together, like a treasure map." The friends cheered and set off on their exciting journey. Their first stop was the castle's grand library, where books floated in the air and whispered stories. Fluffy bumped into a glowing book. As it opened, golden letters appeared, La, no. Minha carefully picked up the word. Next, they ventured into the garden, where flowers sang and the air smelled of roses. Zara spotted a shimmering orb hanging from a tree. Inside, it said Ilaha, God. Leo lifted Hamza to grab it. Got it. Hamza squealed with delight. The group followed the sound of rushing water to a magical waterfall. Sammy used his trunk to lift Fluffy onto a rock where the next orb was hidden. It glowed brightly and read Ilala, except Allah. 3 words down, 2 more to go, cheered Minha. As the sun began to set, they climbed the spiral staircase of the castle's tallest tower. At the top, under a sky full of stars, they found the final orb resting on a crescent moon sculpture. It revealed the words Muhammadur Rasulullah. Back at the fountain, the friends placed all the glowing orbs together. As they joined, a radiant light filled the castle, spreading warmth and peace everywhere. The words of the Kalima shone in the sky, and the friends recited it together. Minha turned to her brother and smiled. Hamza, this is the most beautiful treasure we've ever found. Leo nodded, the Kalima is more than words, it's a promise to love and worship Allah and to follow the teachings of his messenger. Zara added, and just like we work together to find the words, we should always help each other stay on the right path. The castle lit up in colors of gold and silver as the friends celebrated their adventure. Kiki sang songs, Fluffy did funny flips, and Sammy gently swung Hamza on his trunk. Minha, still wearing her crown, led a prayer of gratitude under the moonlit sky. From that day forward, they made it a daily habit to recite the Kalima. Moral of the story, learning about faith is like finding a treasure, it fills your heart with light, teaches you to be kind, and reminds you of the beauty of Allah's guidance. Together, we grow stronger and brighter. The end.
Once upon a time, in a vibrant, lush green jungle, there lived the brightest and liveliest set of animals you'd ever hope to see, Every creature had their own unique letter, and today was a special day, for it was the Jungle Alphabet Harmony Day. Early in the morning, the jungle was filled with the music of chirping birds and the rustle of leaves blown by a gentle breeze. At the heart of this jungle, by a shimmering clear pond, was the gathering of the animals. First to arrive was Alex the alligator. He was a suave fellow with shiny scales, holding a big, bold letter tied around his neck, like a sparkly badge of honor. As for alligator, and always for adventure, he announced in his deep, melodious voice. Next came Bobo the baboon, bouncing with energy and excitement. He had his letter B painted in bright blue right across his cheek. B is for baboon, and bubble blowing. Bobo giggled as he blew a big bubble that glinted in the sunlight. Chrissy the crocodile slithered through the water. A huge happy smile stretched across her face, her letter C jingling on her tail. C is for crocodile, and celebration. She sang, spraying water joyfully into the air. Then there was Debbie the duck, waddling and quacking with a yellow D tied around her duck feet. D is for duck, and dazzling dance. She quacked, spinning in circles as if doing a ballet. Everywhere you looked, animals were gleefully showing off their letters. Edgar the elephant with his elaborate E-ear cap, Freya the flamingo with a fanciful F feather boa, and Gus the gorilla growling happily while swinging his sparkly G pendant. There were Helga the hare with her hippie H hat, and Izzy the iguana with his incredible I ink, not to forget Jake the jaguar, whose jazzy J jacket glimmered in the sun. All through the jungle, from treetops to river banks, the letters were literally hopping with life. The terrific animals had turned the lush jungle into a grand and glorious paradise of alphabets. Finally, as the sun began to set, the animals gathered together to sing. The air was filled with a harmonious chorus as they belted out the alphabet song, each animal proud and cheery to represent their letter. A is for alligator, B is for baboon, C is for crocodile, and let's sing together soon. The birds chimed in, the crickets formed a soothing symphony, and the fireflies lit up the night like twinkling stars. The jungle creatures sang and danced until the moon was high in the sky, and as they settled down to sleep, they knew they were part of something truly special. And that is how the jungle prospered, not just in its lush greenery but in the joyful spirit of its animal friends. The Jungle Alphabet Harmony Day would always be remembered as the day the jungle came together, celebrating their letters, love, and laughter.
Once upon a time, in the snowy town of Manchester, there lived a little boy named Hamza and his big sister Minha. Hamza was just 2 years old, and Minha had just turned 3. They were both very excited because they were going on their first big adventure all the way to Pakistan to visit their beloved grandparents, Dada and Dadi. Before starting their journey, Mama carefully dressed Hamza in his warmest clothes. Minha, who always felt like a princess, wore her favorite hijab with a tiny sparkling crown on top. "Do I look like a queen, Mama?" Minha asked, twirling around. "Of course, Minha," Mama replied with a smile. "Always remember, wearing your hijab makes you special like a queen." As they boarded the big airplane, Hamza looked out the window, wide-eyed at the fluffy white clouds. "Are we flying over the moon, Minha?" he asked excitedly. Minha giggled and replied, "Not quite the moon, Hamza, but close. We'll be in Pakistan soon." When they finally arrived in Pakistan, their grandparents were waiting eagerly at the airport with open arms. The warm hugs and kisses made Hamza and Minha feel at home instantly. Dada told them exciting stories about the land of Punjab, full of vibrant colors and friendly faces. The next day, Dadi showed Minha how to make beautiful bracelets using colorful beads. Minha loved it so much and decided to make one for her mama, knowing it would make her happy. Hamza, meanwhile, watched the birds in the garden, trying to mimic them in his own special way. As the evening fell, Dada gathered them around for bedtime stories. But first, he taught them an important lesson. Always remember, he said, whatever you wear, whether it's a hijab like Minha's or the clothes that Hamza wears, always carry it with pride and respect. It's not just about what we wear, but it's about being kind, honest, and helpful to others. That's what makes you truly beautiful inside and out. Minha thought about her hijab and how it made her feel like a queen every day. She hugged her dada and Dottie tightly, feeling grateful for all the love and wisdom they shared. Soon, it was time to sleep. With their hearts full of love and new memories. As they softly drifted into dreamland, they knew that this journey was not just about visiting their grandparents, but about learning to love and cherish the things that truly made them special. And the little sparkling crown on Minha's hijab shined brightly, just like the love that surrounded them. Once upon a time in a cozy little town, there lived a sweet boy named Hamza and his big sister Minha. Hamza was just 2 years old and loved all kinds of toys, from tiny cars to building blocks. He had beautiful, bright eyes that sparkled with curiosity. Minha, 3 years old, always wore her colorful hijab and loved to put on her princess crown. She had a gentle smile that could light up the whole room. One sunny afternoon, their mother, Mama Fatima, decided to take them to the town park. "Let's pack some food and toys for a fun day out," she cheerily announced. With a picnic basket in hand and a bag full of their favorite toys, they set out for the adventure. At the park, the green grass was like a soft carpet beneath their feet. The sun peeped through the gently swaying trees. Minha spread a blanket on the grass, and they all sat down to enjoy the lovely day. Hamza happily raced with his toy cars near the blanket's edge, his giggles echoing in the air. Minha, with her princess crown tilted slightly to the side, started building a castle with her blocks, imagining it to be her royal palace. As time passed, more children gathered at the park, drawn by the sunny sky and warm weather. A little girl approached them shyly. Her name was Lena, and she was new in town. Lena watched Minha build her castle with wistful eyes because she didn't have any toys with her. Mama Fatima noticed Lena and said gently, "Assalamu alaikum, dear Lena. Would you like to play with us?" Minha, following her mother's example, held out some of her blocks and said, "Here, you can help me build the castle." Lena's face lit up with joy. "Thank you," she squealed happily. Together, they started building an even bigger and more colorful castle. Meanwhile, Hamza was getting hungry from all the playing. Mama Fatima opened the picnic basket and took out some yummy snacks. She asked, "Who wants to share some delicious food?" But before anyone could answer, Hamza, with a twinkle in his eye, held out a piece of bread to Lena. "Lena, try," he offered with his sweet little voice. Lena smiled, feeling the warmth of their friendship. "Thank you, Hamza," she replied. She took a bite of the bread. Soon, the three of them were munching on snacks and sharing stories. When the sun was ready to set, and it was time to leave the park, Minha looked at Lena and hugged her. "You can keep some blocks. So whenever you play with them, you remember our castle." Lena was overjoyed and promised, "I'll take good care of them and remember this wonderful day." As they left, Mama Fatima spoke softly to Hamza and Minha. "Islam teaches us about love and sharing, and today, both of you showed kindness from your heart. I am so proud of you." As they walked home, the sky above blushed with hues of pink and gold, and Hamza and Minha felt happy. They had made a new friend and shared so much love and kindness. And with that peaceful thought, they returned home, dreaming of more adventures with their new friend the next sunny day.
The morning sun streamed through the tall windows of the classroom, casting a gentle glow over the polished wooden desks where a group of young children sat, their attentive faces turned towards the front of the room. Among them, with her small hands folded neatly in her lap, sat Minha, a bright-eyed 3-year-old hijabi princess whose enthusiasm for learning was as boundless as the morning sky. It was an ordinary day at the Little Stars Islamic School, but for Minha, it was a day of excitement and purpose. Today, She was going to recite the 6 kalimas, fundamental declarations of faith in Islam, for her classmates and her beloved teacher, Miss Yasmin. It was a big moment for such a little girl, but Minha had been practicing diligently with her family. Miss Yasmin stood at the front of the class, her kind eyes surveying her students. "All right, everyone," she said, clapping her hands gently to capture the children's attention. Today, Minha would like to share something special with us. Minha rose from her seat, her hijab neatly pinned in place by her mother that morning, and walked to the front with the poise of a princess. Taking a deep breath, she began with the first kalima, her sweet, clear voice carrying the words across the room, La ilaha illallah, Mohammedur Rasulullah. Each syllable articulate, echoing her sincerity and commitment. Her classmates listened with rapt attention, some of them whispering along, others simply smiling. With each successive kalima, Minha seemed to grow, her voice imbued with the gravity and joy of sharing something deeply meaningful. Miss Yasmin watched her with pride, knowing this was more than just a recitation. It was a proclamation of faith, a celebration of identity, and a moment of community. By the time Minha reached the 6th kalima, her small frame was a vessel of profound words, Radatu Billahi Rabbin, Wabel Islami Dinin. She concluded with a gentle pause, a moment of reflection. And then, with a small smile, added in her own words, "I love these kalimas, and I hope they always stay in my heart." The classroom erupted in gentle applause, with Miss Yasmin joining in, her face beaming with approval. "Thank you, Minha," she said warmly. "That was beautiful. We are so proud of you." Minha returned to her seat, her cheeks rosy with happiness, as her classmates reached out to pat her back and whisper words of encouragement. For Minha, it was not just about memorization, but about living her faith and sharing it with her community, a true princess in spirit and essence.
In the small town of Norville lived 2 siblings, Sammy and Layla. Every morning, their grandmother would tell them the importance of saying Bismillah before embarking on any task. One breezy morning, as the sun painted golden stripes across the sky, Sammy and Layla, excited to explore the enchanted forest, remembered their grandmother's words. Hand in hand, they whispered Bismillah in unison before stepping onto the forest path. To their amazement, vibrant flowers bloomed beneath their feet, creating a colorful carpet wherever they walked. Gigantic butterflies with kaleidoscope wings hovered, forming rainbowed arches above their heads. As they approached a flowing stream, the water sparkled like crystals, revealing smiling fish that danced in harmony. Every corner of the forest seemed to welcome them with joy. Returning home, Layla and Sammy couldn't wait to tell their grandmother. They realized saying Bismillah filled their world with unseen blessings and magic, making every moment a wondrous adventure.
Once upon a time in a beautiful kingdom, there lived a lovely and kind princess named Layla. She had sparkling eyes and a heart full of love and kindness. Princess Layla wore colorful gowns and a shimmering crown on her head, but what made her truly special was the beautiful hijab she wore with grace. Every night before bedtime, Princess Layla had a special routine that she cherished. She would sit by her window, gaze at the twinkling stars, and open a very special book, the Quran, the holy book of Allah. One peaceful night, as the moonlight filled her room, Princess Layla opened her Quran with a gentle smile. Her grandmother had once told her stories from its pages, tales of love, kindness, and the beautiful words of wisdom that guided people to be good to each other. Tonight, Princess Layla read about the importance of kindness and helping those in need. Her heart felt warm and filled with purpose. Tomorrow, she whispered to herself, "I shall spread kindness wherever I go." And with that promise, she closed the Quran and whispered a little prayer. The next day, Princess Layla wore her sparkly crown and a soft, sky blue hijab. She wandered through the kingdom's gardens, where she met all sorts of lovely creatures, greeting them with warmth and helping them with whatever they needed. Whether it was a bird who had lost its way or a young child looking for a friend, Princess Layla was there with a smile. The kingdom loved her dearly because her acts of kindness made everyone around her happy. And so, every night, under the peaceful moonlight, Princess Layla would read a part of the Quran, listen to the soothing words of wisdom, and dream of a world filled with peace and love. She knew that by following the teachings of Allah, she could make her kingdom a brighter place. And so, little one, every time you feel like spreading kindness, remember Princess Layla's magic words and actions inspired by the Quran. Sleep well, and tomorrow will be another day to be just as kind and lovely. Good night, and sweet dreams.
In a lush green meadow, there lived a curious rabbit named Oliver. Oliver was known for his insatiable appetite and an extraordinary nose for carrots. One bright sunny morning, as he hopped through the meadow, his nose twitched, and he caught the scent of a carrot. It was not just any carrot, it was the most fragrant and delectable scent he had ever encountered. Determined to find the source, Oliver followed the tantalizing aroma, leading him through fields of wildflowers and across little bubbling brooks. After a long search, he arrived at a quaint garden tucked away in a quiet corner of the meadow. There, glistening under the sun, was the most magnificent carrot. But alas, the carrot was surrounded by a curious circular fence of tiny wooden stakes. Undeterred, clever Oliver devised a plan. He dug a tunnel beneath the fence and emerged victoriously on the other side. Taking a moment to savor his victory, Oliver nibbled the carrot with utter delight. The meadow once again echoed with the sound of a happy rabbit munching his prize, as Oliver learned that persistence and wit can overcome any obstacle. 2-year-old Hamza sat glumly on the porch, tears lining his chubby cheeks. Suddenly, a playful dog trotted by with a shiny football in its mouth. Hamza's eyes lit up, and he toddled over, joining the frolicsome game. Laughing, he whispered a heartfelt, "Thank you, Allah."
In a lush, colorful forest where cherry blossoms danced in the breeze, Little Rabbit met a special friend, a sparkle-dyed little hijabi girl named Amina. As they hopped and skipped through the enchanted woods, they stumbled upon a shimmering map pinned against the ancient oak tree. "Look, Little Rabbit," gasped Amina with excitement. "It's a treasure hunt for the 5 pillars of Islam." Curiosity sparked, they began their quest. Their first stop led them to a beautiful mosque on the hill. Here, they learned about Shahada, the declaration of faith. Little Rabbit's eyes widened as he listened, his furry ears twitching with interest. Next, they found themselves in a peaceful garden where people were praying. Amina gently clasped her hands, explaining Salah, the importance of praying. As the sun dipped beneath the horizon, their path glowed with silver pennies, guiding them to Zakat, a lesson in kindness and charity. Amina and Little Rabbit shared their picnic snacks with singing birds, their hearts full of joy. A sparkling stream then led them to a group of fasting animals, teaching them about Psalm and the beauty of self-restraint. Finally, a glowing golden line in the sky directed them to the story of the grand trip of Hajj, the pilgrimage. They imagined a magnificent land of unity and love. With each lesson, a pillar glowed on the map. Little Rabbit and Amina returned to the oak tree, their adventure complete. "Together, we've found something more precious than treasure," Amina smiled. "The 5 pillars are our treasures." Little Rabbit nodded, knowing their discovery had planted seeds of faith and friendship in the heart of the vibrant forest. Little Amina, a sweet 3-year-old girl with sparkling eyes and a joyful heart, admired her young uncle Zaid. Every Friday, she watched with fascination as he prepared for the Jummah Namaz prayer. Zaid would dress neatly, trim his beard, and put on his kufi, looking so reverent and peaceful. Amina, with her tiny hijab fastened with colorful pins, tugged at her uncle's hand one Friday morning. Uncle Zaid, can I come with you today? She asked, her eyes full of hope. Zaid knelt down, smiling warmly. Jumma is very special, Amina. We pray together and learn about our deen. You want to learn too? Amina nodded vigorously. Hand in hand, they walked to the mosque. As Amina reached the prayer hall, she stood quietly beside the women, watching and imitating their actions. Her small hands rose with theirs, whispering prayers, feeling the serenity around her. Later that day, Amina, glowing with happiness, told her family about how beautiful the mosque was and how much she loved learning about her faith. Her eyes sparkled as she described her first Jumma prayer with Uncle Zaid. The story of Amina teaches us that fostering a love for faith and community starts young, reminding us to share our values and joy with the next generation. With encouragement and guidance, even the smallest hearts can hold great devotion. Once upon a time, in Green Jungle, there lived a little monkey named Momo. With shiny, sparkled eyes and an adorable, mischievous grin, Momo was loved by all the creatures in the jungle. Oh, what a delightful treat, squeaked Momo, bouncing with excitement. But there was a twist. The bananas were guarded by a clever parrot named Polly. If you want these bananas, little Momo, squawked Polly, you must answer my riddle. What belongs to you but others use more than you? Momo paused, scratched his head, and then his eyes sparkled even brighter as he shouted, your name. Polly clapped, opened her wings, and said, you are right, little one. Enjoy your bananas, Momo. And so, the day turned into a delightful feast for one lucky, sparkling-eyed monkey in the jungle. The end.
In the heart of the sprawling African savanna, where the golden grasses swayed in the warm breeze, there lived a bold and noble lion named Hamza. Hamza wasn't just any lion. He was the king of the entire savanna, respected and admired by all the animals around, from the tiniest meerkat to the tallest giraffe. But what made Hamza such a noteworthy king wasn't just his mighty roar or his majestic mane, but his heart, full of courage and honesty. One sunny morning, as the sun peeked over the horizon, Hamza set out for his usual patrol of the kingdom. The animals in the savannah knew they could always count on Hamza to protect them from any danger that lurked. But today, something unusual was happening. Little Finn, the fleet-footed gazelle, came rushing towards Hamza, worry written all over his face. Hamza, Hamza, Finn exclaimed breathlessly. There's a problem at the watering hole. Without a second thought, Hamza roared bravely. Lead the way, Finn. I'll follow you. As they raced through the tall grass, Finn explained how the water supply had started to dwindle, and the other animals were getting anxious. When they arrived, Hamza saw that the watering hole was indeed smaller than usual. But upon examining it closely with his keen eyes, Hamza noticed something strange. A troop of mischievous monkeys up on a nearby hill was damming the stream that fed water into the hole for their private play. Hamza approached Bo, the leader of the troop, and said, Bo, what you're doing is not right. The watering hole is for everyone. Bo, a cheeky little monkey, replied, but we wanted it for ourselves. Hamza took a deep breath, calling on all his courage. Playing and having fun is not wrong, Bo, but taking something that belongs to everyone is not fair. How will you feel if others take all the bananas from your trees just because they wanted them? Bo turned red with embarrassment. He had never thought about it that way. I didn't think of that, he murmured, his eyes darting down. Honesty and courage, Bo, Hamza said kindly. We can fix this together. Let's clear the blockage and share the stream. Then you can play by the water whenever you'd like. The two animals worked together to clear the dam, and soon enough, the refreshing water was flowing back into the watering hole. The other animals watched Hamza and Bo, their hearts swelling with admiration. As the water returned, Hamza's wise voice echoed, Remember, my friends, courage is not just being brave enough to face what's wrong. It's also speaking up with honesty when we're the ones who need to correct our ways. We are all part of this vast savanna, and together, we will make it a place for everyone.
Once upon a time, in the bustling town of Harmonyville, there lived two best friends, Minha and Hamza. They were known for their curious minds and playful spirits. Minha was a bright-eyed girl with a love for learning anything new, while Hamza, her loyal sidekick, was a clever boy with endless energy for games and adventures. Together, they decided to create a special club called M&H Learn and Play. This club wasn't just any regular club. It had a unique mission. It aimed to bring Islamic education and entertainment to all the children in the town, promising tons of fun while learning about their faith. One sunny afternoon, Minha had an idea. Hamza, why don't we host a treasure hunt at the park? We can hide Quranic verses and Islamic riddles for the kids to discover, she exclaimed excitedly. Hamza jumped with joy. That's brilliant, Minha. Let's blend our love for games with our faith. The next day, they set up the treasure hunt. They carefully crafted clues from beautiful teachings, reminding the young adventurers of values like kindness, honesty, and patience. Each clue led the children closer to the ultimate treasure chest, which contained small booklets of stories of the prophets and beautiful prayer mats. As the day of the treasure hunt arrived, the park buzzed with excitement. Kids from all around the town gathered, eager to join the fun under the guidance of Minha and Hamza. Welcome, young explorers, Minha greeted. Today, we embark on a journey of fun and faith. The children cheered as Hamza revealed the first clue. In the words of wisdom revealed high and bright, strive to always do what is right. With that, the adventure began. The kids enthusiastically ran from one corner of the park to another, giggling and discussing each riddle solved alongside their new friends. As the treasure hunt neared its conclusion, everyone gathered around a giant oak tree where the final treasure lay hidden. Minha stood in front of them, holding up the last clue. Sometimes in our quest for gold, the true treasure is the wisdom we hold, she recited. A boy named Yusuf squealed, I know! It's by the old oak tree where we often hear the muezzin's call to prayer. With a flurry of excitement, they dashed towards the tree, feeling the thrill of revelation. Minha and Hamza beamed proudly as the children unearthed the treasure chest, bursting it open to squeals of delight. There was something for everyone, each little treasure a reminder of their faith. From that day on, M&H Learn and Play became a cherished part of Harmonyville. Every event, whether it was a storytelling afternoon about the prophets or an art day where they painted themes of Islamic history, was eagerly anticipated. Minha and Hamza knew their work had only just begun, as there were endless stories to share and countless games to enliven with learning. Together, they would continue to inspire and educate, proving that learning about their faith could be the greatest adventure of all.
Subscribe and share.